Zhang Yi slowly looked at everyone and spoke. The first time I saw them, I was also startled and screamed. Their numbers are truly enormous. Without your help, Tianhai City wouldn't be able to handle them. Therefore, I have no choice but to shamelessly ask you to stay and help us once again. Zhang Yi looked at Bianjinyu and the others. Behind his sunglasses, Bianjinyu frowned deeply at this unexpected situation. Unable to make a quick decision, he asked, "How many people know about this?" Zhang Yi replied, "Only my team and I know. I haven't told the other forces. And even most people in my group are not fully aware of this." Bianjinyu stared at Zhang Yi. "Are you suggesting that someone is controlling everything from behind the scenes?" Zhang Yi shook his head. "It's hard to say, but this is important. I'm not sure, so I can only ask for your guidance on how to handle it." He sighed and rubbed his forehead. "If even you don't know what to do, I'll just have to lead my people away from this dangerous place. Does Blizzard City provide free food and lodging?" Bianjinyu didn't react to Zhang Yi's humor. He asked again, "Other than these images, do you have any other information?" Zhang Yi shook his head. "No, that's it. This time, I really don't have more. You should know, I'm not a professional investigator, so finding this information was already a huge stroke of luck." Bianjinyu was silent for a moment, then slowly nodded. "I understand the situation. We'll find a way to handle it, but in return, you will also need to provide support." Zhang Yi hesitated. "Our team is fine, but other forces have lost up to 80% of their combat strength. Can we really handle such a large-scale zombie group?" Bianjinyu replied, "This is your mission, so you must put in the effort." Zhang Yi sighed. "All right, I understand." Bianjinyu stood up. "Then we'll leave first." Zhang Yi asked, "Not staying for a meal before you go? My place is spacious. Maybe you could rest a bit." But Bianjinyu firmly refused. "No need. We're not used to resting in other people's homes. The investigation team is very cautious and doesn't easily trust others. Especially now." After Zhang Yi shared the information about the zombies, Bianjinyu became even more suspicious. How could he be sure that Zhang Yi wasn't the one controlling the zombies? After all, ever since the zombie threat appeared, only their group had suffered no casualties. Zhang Yi continued, "Well, if you need anything, feel free to tell me." His eyes were sincere. Bianjinyu only nodded slightly before leading his team out of Zhang Yi's hideout. Zhang Yi stood by the window, watching their vehicle disappear into the distance. After a long time, he sighed deeply, his eyes filled with guilt. He had indeed concealed some information. What he showed Bianjinyu and his team was just a small portion of what the cameras had captured. In reality, the number of zombies in the subway tunnel in the now mountain area was far greater than what they knew. But Zhang Yi worried that if the investigation team knew the real scale of the zombies, they might decide to retreat, which would be bad for his plans. He thought to himself, "Don't blame me. I just want to survive in this apocalypse. Everyone has to save themselves. If the investigation team can't pull out of this, then my group's safety will be somewhat guaranteed." Next, they would have to observe and react according to how things developed. If everything unfolded as he planned, he would be the biggest beneficiary. In the vehicle traveling through the snow, the atmosphere among the investigation team became tense. They had just finished a battle with zombies and thought the problem in Tianhai City had been handled fairly well. However, after seeing those images, they realized they had been too naive. This meant they would face an even more difficult situation. Bianjinyu's expression was unclear. He thought, who is controlling the zombies, commanding them everywhere? Or is that person just hiding, or maybe Zhang Yi is playing both sides? Everyone knew his mind was in turmoil. Currently, there were two options. One was to return and request support from the Jiangnan region, asking the headquarters to send more people to help. The second was to rely on themselves and the local forces of Tianhai City for a decisive attack. Bianjinyu hesitated between the two plans. The first option was undoubtedly the safest, but it also meant admitting their incompetence, which would lower their status in the eyes of the Jiangnan leadership and reduce the survival points they had accumulated from the mission. These points were crucial for the survival of their families in Blizzard City. However, if they chose the second option, they would face certain risks. The team members were all waiting for Bianjinyu's order. After fighting together for a long time, they had immense trust in him. After thinking for a while, Bianjinyu finally made his decision. The situation is still unclear. We can't rush to ask for support from the higher-ups. Our priority now is to thoroughly investigate the area Zhang Yi mentioned. If we can handle the problem ourselves, we absolutely shouldn't trouble headquarters. The team members all nodded in agreement. Right, even if we ask for reinforcements, we need to fully understand the situation. That's the only way we can request support reasonably, avoiding wasting resources or failing due to insufficient aid. Bian Junyu, confident in his decision, said. Let's start investigating the area Zhang Yi mentioned. Hearing this, Bai Li Chongqing asked attentively, should we invite the local forces of Tianhai City to join us? Bian Junyu firmly rejected Bai Li Chongqing's suggestion without hesitation. No. Right now, we absolutely cannot allow anyone else to get involved. With a cold expression and a deep voice, Bian Junyu said, if this isn't a natural disaster but a man-made one, we can't rule out the possibility that the mastermind is among those 5 forces. His words made the investigation team grow serious. Wu Di frowned and asked, someone is raising these zombies? Who could it be? Is it Zhang Yi? I find him the most suspicious. Don't miss out on the next exciting chapter. Make sure to follow and share this video, so you and your friends can enjoy the story together. Indeed, if you looked at Tianhai City's current situation, Zhang Yi was very suspicious. He was the only one among the forces who hadn't lost any personnel to the zombies. Bai Li Chongqing countered. I don't think it's him. There's always a reason behind actions, and Zhang Yi has no reason to do this. He doesn't lack supplies to survive in this post-apocalyptic world. And the people around him are living fairly well. Moreover, he voluntarily shared the zombie information with us. If he's not insane, he wouldn't dare provoke us. Representatives of the Jiangnan region. Wu Di was confused, but who else could it be? Every other faction in Tianhai City has suffered heavy losses. If it were them, they wouldn't intentionally bring the zombies to destroy their own forces. Right? Meng Xiu spoke up. It could be some force that doesn't want others to know about them. Bian Junyu thought for a moment, then said, we haven't gathered enough information to make a judgment. Let's go to Now Mountain and investigate. When we get there, we'll know what's really going on. Don't miss out on the next exciting chapter. Make sure to follow and share this video, so you and your friends can enjoy the story together.